We hope you enjoyed that Tchaikovsky. It's a great transcription. Actually, it's played more by bands these days than orchestras, but we hope you enjoyed that true transcription of the Tchaikovsky dance of the Jesters by our wind ensemble. Our next piece, written by a dear friend of mine, who's actually clinicked our band in the past. She's a Miami native, Michele Fernandez. She was the band director at Miami High for many years. She's a phenomenal jazz pianist. We went to UF together. She actually played oboe in the band, but she really was an amazing piano player. She has done all-state jazz in 7 states now in our country, and she's a widely sought-after clinician and now composer. Now, you heard this piece perhaps at the Bach preview concert when Dr. Prescott was conducting. You may have seen it on our live stream when we performed up in Indianapolis, and we would like to do it again. You know, I was debating on how to introduce this piece without offending anyone, and I don't know if that's possible, but this piece she wrote as the daughter of Cuban immigrants who risked their lives to come to our country for a better life, and the title, Empty Rafts and Endless Miles, just kind of tells the story about how sometimes people wouldn't wash up on the shore, just an empty raft. So it's a very close piece to her, a very close issue, and it's just a celebration of those who simply want to come to our country because they want a better life for them and their family. And I don't know why we would, you know, not think that's a great thing. So we want to thank you. So we hope you enjoy her phenomenal piece, and we hope you feel the spirit of it as well. So we hope you enjoy her piece. Thank you. We'd like to welcome another one of our amazing pianists to the stage, our friend and colleague and wonderful student, a junior, right here. Yeah, this is Micah Sachsenheimer. She'll be with us for the next two pieces. This next piece, unless you watch the stream in Indianapolis, you probably haven't heard it before. This is a gorgeous piece of music written by Andrew Boysen Jr. called Song for Lyndsay. Lyndsay was his wife. And you'll notice that there are two prominent soloists aside from piano in this piece, French horn, which is what Andrew Boysen Jr. played, and flute, which is what his wife played. And those are beautifully played by two of our seniors, Jordan Wilson and Naomi Grant. So, it's a stunning piece of music. We hope you enjoy it. Song for Lyndsay. Okay, so now is the audience participation part. So, if you were fortunate enough to win the lottery and receive ammunition, you might have a little foam practice golf ball. So, if you have one of those, just hold on to them, because you got to help us take down Godzilla. So, this next piece by phenomenal composer, really mostly known for his choral works, Whitacre, but wrote this amazing, was commissioned by Dr. Tom Leslie, a good friend of mine at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, to do a fun piece that harkens back to the good old days of Hollywood and the monster movies. And you know, when I was a kid growing up, I watched all those Godzilla films, and they were awesome. And so this is his take on Godzilla Eats Las Vegas. You probably got a very hard to read script. If you wanted to follow the storyline, I know the print is about this big. If you want to turn on your camera flashlight, I won't fault you. But the challenge is we have this video, and we have one day here to kind of put it all together. So if it's a little not lined up, the story, I think you'll get the gist. I'll do my best to make sure we're in sync. It's a little bit of a challenge. And so this is a lot of fun. Hoot and holler if you want to laugh, please laugh. If you want to cheer, please cheer. And then just a couple of things. When Godzilla comes out, it'll be on the screen. It'll tell you when to throw the ammunition. Okay? Don't worry, they don't hurt. Okay? They're not going to hurt anybody. They're pretty soft. By the time they get up here, they won't hurt anybody if they hit them. Just try not to aim for an eye. And really, when Godzilla comes out, or me, you can get one of us. Okay, I don't mind. So we hope you're ready for a hoot and hollering. This is Eric Whitacre's Godzilla Eats Las Vegas. Mr. Rich, I'm probably going to tell you we're probably going to need a big broom in a moment. We hope you enjoyed that. Did you have a good time watching that? Yeah. Actually, worked out pretty good with the film. It's a lot of work. I think we had like two weeks on it. You know, I was out a lot because of some things and testing. So I think they did a great job. It's a lot to manage. So give it a good round of applause. Okay, we're stopping now. Thank you, everyone. You know, the teacher's biggest fear is not what happens during the song, what happens after. Okay? Thank you. So, you know, I wish we could stay here another hour and play more for you, but it's time to go. So, you know, we had our band banquet a couple weeks ago. And, you know, like I said, the band banquet, the kids stay the same age and I keep getting older. And that's just the nature of the beast. And it is time that we have to say goodbye to, is Rudy out here yet? Really good. 25 amazing human beings who started right after the COVID year, I think, right? That was right after, and have done some incredible things. And have accomplished so many things, both as teammates, but also as individuals. And what we can hope as teachers is that we just send them out on the world a better person, someone prepared to take on the challenges that are far more extreme than when we were children, or I was a child. I'm very confident, that they're going to do great things. And if anybody can change the world, it's these 25 young ladies. I thank them, but I want them to know that I will always remember them, just like I remember the first class of seniors I taught in 1994, and still talk to some of them to this day. And then, before we get into the final tradition of what we do, I do want to just say a couple of thank yous to Mr. Rich back there on tech. Thank you, Mr. Rich. To our School of the Arts Foundation Incorporated Board of Directors, I know they have a big soiree going on right now, but their support is tremendous. And anyone who's donated to Sophie, thank you very much. Anybody who's donated to our band program, parents, band board, all my colleagues, Mr. Atkins, Mr. De Leon, Ms. Katz-Shear, Mr. Muter, who's here. Everybody say hi to Mr. Muter. Dr. Hughes, back. I don't know who's on administration tonight, but we want to thank, is anybody here back there? Do we know? Oh, who is that? Ms. Castillo? Everybody say hi to Ms. Castillo. She's fantastic. And then we're not quite done, believe it or not, with the concert, yes, but we have a percussion concert in 2 weeks in the Black Box. That's our pulse percussion, so they have a lot of work to do in the next 2 weeks. And then, of course, I would be remiss if we didn't wish our jazz ensemble great skill as they go to New York City next week. So I know that there's a live stream for that. It's 30 bands this year. It's the 30th anniversary of Essentially Ellington. So we hope that you can watch the live stream or whatnot, but we want to wish them incredible skill. They don't need the luck, because they don't need luck because they're that good. Just like all of our groups here, Dreyfoos Orchestra Band and piano and vocal and all that. It's been a tremendous honor leading these children. So our last tradition is a tradition that was started with Mr. Wayne A. Miller, who was the previous band director, a friend of mine, who passed a couple years ago. And we still miss him to this day. I knew Mr. Miller when I first started teaching because I taught 3 of his nieces and nephews in my other band. So we had a close relationship. And so one of the traditions that he handed to me was at the end of the year, we always finish with Stars and Stripes Forever. And we have moments where we honor the senior class. So they'll stand up and play, so feel free to applaud. We have a slideshow, we're booted up, so it's going to show you a baby picture, and then their graduation picture. You can take a guess who it is. and what college they're going to be attending. That'll be running through the production, and parents and seniors will send that slideshow out to you so you can have it. It's wonderful. So we've come to the end. I do want to remind all of our students in the back and all of our students on stage, got a lot of cleaning to do. Please make sure we can get it all done. And there's no school tomorrow, so you know, not the stress of homework or anything. So anyways, we hope you enjoyed our night tonight. We want to thank you for such a great audience. I do want to recognize one more group. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I don't get to talk to you guys till August or September. And we invited, do we have any of our newest families here? Anybody who's coming to the entry Dreyfoos next year? Just wave or stand or whatever. Welcome. There it is. Welcome. We hope you enjoyed it. We're so awesome, excited to have you a part of this next year. We'll talk later. All right, so we're going to finish this up, honoring our senior class, John Philip Sousa, Stars and Stripes Forever. Thank you, everyone, and parents, you're more than welcome to help us clean up as well. Thank you to all our workers, our volunteers. You're awesome. All right, Dreyfoos, let's do this.